time, and it is that time. It is Saturday, July 23rd, and this is the weekend. Frankly, I hope we improve thousands of lives. What am I talking about? Well, today at 9 o'clock, we will be doing a 90-minute deep dive on house hacking, specifically house hacking units. That will, of course, be done just with my students. But tomorrow at 9 a.m., we will publish it for all of you on YouTube. At One Rental at a Time, we really are about helping everyone. So what you will get this weekend, first today with my students, is house hacking with Dion and Matt. And then tomorrow, all of you will get to see it. So again, I hope this video, this 90-minute deep dive, allows you to see the power of house hacking. I personally don't have many regrets in my life, and I'm happy about that. But one of them that I do have is I didn't house hack at 20. I waited until I was 30 years old. If I would have house hacked at 20, I could have been retired and financially free in my 30s instead of starting in my 30s and going until 45. Dion starts making 17 bucks an hour, raising 2 kids, starts house hacking. Oh, by the way, negative net worth. Matt, the lumberjack landlord, he decides to leave school at 13, and house hacking sets his foundation, now over 100 units. Folks, Dion and Matt, their story, their work ethic, the fact that they give back, those are guys we should celebrate. We shouldn't, these huge social media influences and all of that, it's entertainment. But if you want to model around 2 guys that did great things, you could do a lot worse. So we're going to give that to you today at 9 o'clock. But before that, we still do our hour of Q&A. I will finish this daily financial news, and at 8 a.m., we will go for 60 minutes. Your questions, my answers. Saturdays are special. Saturdays is where I interact with you and where we go deep on different topics. So hopefully, I really do think this weekend, the 23rd and the 24th, is going to change thousands of lives. This video will hopefully live on for years and be watched thousands and thousands of times. So enjoy. So a couple of things. Phoenix housing. I got a note from a buddy in Phoenix. Remember Wednesday National Association of Realtors report? Do you remember that? I indicated that there were 2 things that were going to happen. Buyers would start to disappear and sellers would throw a lot of inventory on the market. Well, my buddy reached out to me yesterday and said, Michael, in 2 days, Thursday and Friday, Phoenix, Arizona, went from 17,300 listings to 18,000. Folks, that is a jump of 700 in 2 days. Now, you know how I feel about Phoenix? I believe Phoenix has a real structural problem. Opendoor dominated the market, and now they are flooding with inventory below the median. Prices are going to go down in Phoenix. You have to look at your market, your buy box to see what's going on. But this behavior is exactly what I thought was going to happen. Buyers disappear, sellers come in, days on market, amount of inventory, and then over the next 60 days, we figure out who really needs to sell and who wants to sell. It is going to be a very, very messy couple of months. But trust me when I say this, there are motivated sellers hidden in all of that activity. Please write great offers. Please get credit on closing costs. Please get them to buy down your rate. If you're a buyer today, FHA, VA, investor, doesn't matter. If you are a buyer today, get everything you can. And if you are an investor and you follow One Rental at a Time, if you are not asking for closing costs and rate buy down, you are missing out on a chance to increase your yield. That's what we're here for. We want to get the best return on our money. You might as well get the seller to pay your closing costs and buy down your rate. It doesn't hurt. We have talked to all the lenders on the channel. They will allow up to 3% credit. Go get your money. Next up, Canada housing. We've talked about Canada housing. I have my concerns. Looks like Royal Bank of Canada has put out an economic prediction for next year, 2023, and they see transactions in Canada down 23% and prices down 12%. Folks, I am very concerned about the Canadian housing market. Their adjustable rate mortgage will be resetting into a much higher rate, potentially double. Lots of people can't afford that, and they will become forced sellers. Housing crashes happen. They become a cascading, momentum building snowball when you have forced sellers. That's what you need to have a housing crash. I believe you are certainly set up to have a housing crash in Canada. I believe New Zealand is very similar, and now I'm hearing even Australia. Folks, if you are in a market dominated by ARMs, meaning you can't get 30-year money, be very, very careful. The week ahead, I say this with all seriousness. This week of July could be the most important week of the year. When you look at the stock market, 175 companies inside the S&P 500, which is about 35%, report next week. 175. It's not the big banks. It's not this. We are going to find out how the consumer, how retailers, how all of these folks are doing. And if we truly have started a recession, their forecasts and their earnings expectation, the strong dollar, all of that will be coming down. But not only do we have 175 S&P 500 companies reporting, we have a Fed rate decision. We have Q2 first print GDP. We have PCE. We have consumer sentiment. It is a wild, wild week. So let's get into it. I've got a lot of data here. So let's do it this way. So Monday, it starts out, we have a couple of reports from Whirlpool and F5 Network. It really starts getting hot and heavy on Tuesday. We have Microsoft, Google, Coca-Cola, McDonald's, GM. I don't know what I wrote. Oh, 3M and UPS, just to name a few. Oh, also Pulte Group. Again, housing. Pulte Group. This is a real estate channel. What is going on with builders? Here's my prediction. Lots of cancellations, lowering prices, slowing down. Folks, the people that think builders are just going to keep building and whacking prices don't understand how this time is different. Builders like Pulte Group are just like Walmart and Target. They will blow out the inventory they have at a discount, and then they will stop. They are not going to continue. So this wave of record inventory coming, not coming. Builders are going to slam on the brakes. So there's a little time to go get discounts on new homes. Right now, it might take 60 days, might take 90 days, but this discounting won't be around in a year. They're going to stop building. They're going to slow down a lot. Also, we get Visa. I think it was on Friday, we had American Express. American Express said record spending on travel and entertainment. What does Visa say? Right? American Express, very much the small business. Visa, very much the everyday card. Are people charging groceries and gas? What is going on with collections? Visa is important on Tuesday. And then the one for me, I've been talking about stimulus ballers. Remember them? People buying the Rolexes now have to sell on people buying the Ferraris with fraudulent PPP money. LVMH, Louis Vuitton, high-end brands. They may have an okay Q2, but I'm suspecting, but we'll see, that they're going to talk about a pretty rough year. We'll see. Also on Tuesday, we get Case-Shiller home prices. Will Case-Shiller home prices finally crash like everybody's calling for? We also get FHFA home prices. Will they show the housing crash that all these channels want? We get new home sales. Here's a hint, folks. New home sales, bad, 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 bad. And we also get consumer confidence. Consumer confidence will be important, as will consumer sentiment, which comes out on Friday. More about that later. Then Wednesday, we have Boeing, Facebook, Ford, Etsy, Qualcomm, Cheesecake Factory, and Hilton. What is going on with the consumer? Are we going to hotels? Is business travel back? What is going on with ads? Snap and Twitter miss. What about Meta? Facebook, same stuff. Then we also get pending home sales. Folks, guess what? Pending home sales, bad, bad, bad. Probably not as bad as new home sales, but bad nonetheless. And on Wednesday, we of course get Fed rate decision. So your first opportunity to participate with me this fine Saturday morning is, what do you think? 50, 75, or 100? Please leave your comments below. I would love to hear from you. Let's get this YouTube algorithm going. Leave your comments below. More and more people will see this. I'm going to go with 75. I've been calling 75 for 6 weeks now, so why change now? But more importantly, it's not only the 75 that I think's coming. We get Jerome Powell answering questions for an hour. Jerome Powell, if you guys don't know, we have about 6 weeks between rate decisions. There is no meeting in August. It goes from July to September. So he is going to have an opportunity in his Q&A to set the stage for what he needs to see. Is he concerned about a slowdown? Is he concerned about a recession? These are lots of things going on. I think his conversation will be very interesting. I hope people ask him about housing. I hope they ask him about the housing market. Then, man, that's only Wednesday. That's a crazy week, but we're at Wednesday. What about Thursday? Apple, Amazon, Intel, MasterCard, Harley-Davidson, and Beazer Homes. Harley-Davidson's going to be interesting to me because, again, stimulus ballers. We had a lot of people feeling rich. They bought Harleys. We are already seeing Rolexes going back. Is the Harley-Davidson next? Are people selling them used? What is going on? We get MasterCard. We had Visa earlier in the week. What does MasterCard tell us? The same, something different? Who knows? We get Amazon and Apple. I think Apple is still the most highest value company. What do they tell us about the consumer and what is coming on, what is happening in China? And then we get Q2 real GDP first print. This goes through 3 reports, right? So there's a first print, a revision, and then final revision. The question is, on Thursday, very simply, will we have a positive Q2 GDP or a negative Q2 GDP? Leave your comments below. I would love to hear from you. I'm going to go positive. I've been saying this for a while. I think it is barely positive, like 0.1 or 0.2. But as many of you said, the Atlanta Fed is calling for a negative 1.2. That Atlanta Fed indicator or predictor is actually pretty cool. It updates as real-time data comes in. So maybe I'm being stubborn, but I'm going to stick with my call, and we'll see what happens on Thursday. What do you think? Q2 positive, Q2 negative. And then we close out with Friday. Friday, we have Sony and BNP Paribas, but we also get PCE. Why is PCE important? Because it's the Fed's most trusted inflation indicator, personal consumption expenditure. And we get consumer sentiment. Is consumer sentiment still souring? Remember, we get consumer confidence on Tuesday and consumer sentiment. Next week is, I don't know what else to tell you. It is the most important week, certainly of the summer, and it might be the most important week of the year. 175 S&P 500 companies. We are at the pivot. Economy, recession, Fed rate, right? It's crazy right now. So again, lots of stuff going on. So that's the week ahead. Earnings, econ data. Let's see. What else do I have? Got a lot of stuff. Oh, there's a former Fed president called Jeffrey Lacker. He was interviewed on Bloomberg. Jeffrey was talking about he's afraid that the Fed is going to have to take the Fed funds rate to at least 6%. That's the front end of the curve. That would be a problem. If the front end of the curve is 6%, what the 2-year note's got to be 7.5. The 10-year's got to be, well, if it's not inverted, 8. What does that make the 30-year mortgage? 9.5? 10? If we get a Fed funds rate of 6, that would be a problem. That would be a problem. What else do we got? Oh, investors. Investors are finally pulling money out of the stock market. In the last 5 weeks, you guys, everyone, us, I guess, pulled $4.5 billion, which is the largest outflow in a 5-week period in several years. Let's talk about this negative or positive GDP, something that I've tried to educate you on over the last month or so. Even if GDP is negative in Q2, which technically meets the rule of thumb, 2 negative quarters equals a recession, I am convinced, 99% convinced, that the National Bureau of Economic Research will not call a recession. As I've tried to help you understand, there are actually 4 indicators that this National Bureau of Economic Research looks at. Let's see if I remember them. Industrial production, retail sales, real wages, and unemployment. I cannot see this bureau calling a recession. I stand by my new call that a recession started July 1st. And again, this National Bureau won't even report on it until Q1 of next year. This is going to be a housing-based recession. We are going to lose 30 to 50% of transactions. We are going to lose 20 to 40% of new builds. We have lost 80% of refis. Not good. And we have rates going up, up, up. And that feedback loop, negative wealth effect, all of that stuff is going on. So again, folks, man, July 23rd, tomorrow, July 24th, important days for this channel. We are putting out, hopefully, a video with 90 minutes of content that is meant to help you change your financial future. House hacking, 4321, all of these strategies that these 2 guys are going to talk about, I really hope changes lives. Share them with your, like if you had a child, a cousin, a niece, a nephew in high school, in college, they need to see this house hacking. Again, negative net worth, 2 kids, high school dropout. My one regret is I didn't house hack. I don't know what to tell you, folks. So again, you got an opportunity to participate. Let's get the algorithm going. Q2 going to be negative or positive. And I forgot the other one I asked you, but there was another one. Anyways, have a wonderful day. We are going to do our live stream very shortly. Bye-bye.